Howdy folks, welcome to the reveal of the data of the ACERT compounds versus running the low pressure as a single. So we're going to start out with pressures. So what we have here is compounds made peaked at 48.26 pounds of boost at 1781 RPM. The single made a maximum of 37 at that same, roughly same RPM. Okay, we'll move right along. Let's see. Let's look at back pressure. Sorry, it takes me a little while to figure out where all of these are. I think I got it as drive pressure. There we go. Okay. So, no surprises here. Let's get the maxes to stay on there. Okay, so the compounds maxed out at 63 plus pounds at 2654 RPM. Look at that. The single, the drive pressure, was 29.5 pounds, and basically, you know, it held that almost all the way. So that's pretty amazing. We're talking 30 pounds less drive pressure. That's amazing. So let's move over to temperatures. So our in the manifold EGT for the compounds was peaked at 1789. You can see the scale. The single 88 millimeter low pressure SDP turbo peaked at 1566. So that's considerably lower. Let's look at compressor outlet. That's an interesting one. Let's see, it would be compressor discharge temp. And, oh, no, we got the same, hold on. Select visible graphs, we got that one. Let's get rid of the other two. Pre-turbo, GT. All right, got rid of that. Now we select it again. There's so many graphs saved on this, it's really kind of running slow. Okay, so, oops, I didn't trim that one. Usually I trim them. So, compressor discharge, compounds peaked at 542 degrees. The single peaked at 460 degrees. So, pretty good difference there. Let's go to post turbo, if that really matters. We'll take a look at that. And let's get rid of the extra there. Let's get rid of compressor outlet. Compressor discharge, I mean. Okay, so we got rid of that. So here's the only one where the compounds are cooler than the single, which is to be expected. So the single turbo peaked at 850 degrees. Post turbo, the compounds were 750. That makes sense because you're basically discharging heat into a whole nother turbine. Okay, so I thought this would take longer, but I'm glad it's not. So I'm going to open up here. We've seen the pressures, we've seen the temperatures. Let's look at the power difference. So let me grab this and pull this down. And here's engine power. So here, this is pretty interesting. So the compounds peaked at 1862 RPM, 1208 horsepower. The single peaked at 2312 RPM at 1210. It's actually 1209.8, I think, and this chart rounds it up. So it's really interesting that these two configurations, which couldn't be any different in the world, made almost the same exact peak power, but look at the huge difference in RPM. This is what I want. If I'm pulling a sled, this is what I want. But I'll tell you, once you get to like 1900, that turbo goes into a surge so bad that it's unusable. So you'd have to pick a gear pull your sled that would have you up in the upper RPM. And this one will go, it'll go to 3,000, but I didn't really feel the need to do that. Just that turbo's worn out. As an eBay find, it was some takeoff SDP that had been on fire and everything else, had molten aluminum laying in the turbine housing, and I was able to chip it out, put it together, and still use it. So, all right, let's go to torque. Select visible graphs. We're gonna get rid of power, and we're gonna select torque. I could do this way faster when I know I'm not doing it for an audience, but that's what it is. These are interesting. So I'll just put that so we get a little flag on. So the peak torque, obviously with the compounds, was higher, 3541 at 1778. But the single made a good bit more torque in the upper RPM. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to close out so this isn't too long. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll have maybe something else tomorrow, maybe some pictures or something.